If you can understand everything I'm about to say without subtitles, your English is probably at a B2 level. But here's the challenge. I'm not going to use simple English. I'm going to talk about relationship mistakes that most people don't realize until it's too late. The vocabulary will be more advanced, the ideas will be deeper, and I'm going to speak naturally. So listen carefully, because by the end of this podcast, you'll have a much clearer idea of your real English level. Let's see how much you can understand. Hey, English learners! Welcome back to another English podcast. I hope you're doing great today. If this is your first time here, the goal of this podcast is simple: to help you improve your English through real conversations and meaningful topics. And today, we're talking about something that affects almost everyone at some point in life: relationship mistakes that people often realize too late. These mistakes don't usually look serious at the beginning. In fact, they often feel normal, even comfortable. But over time, they can damage trust, confidence, and emotional stability. So stay with me until the end and try to follow every idea carefully. One of the most common relationship mistakes is ignoring red flags because you like someone. When you really like a person, your mind starts to protect the image you created of them. You stop seeing things clearly. You start making excuses. Maybe they lie sometimes, maybe they disrespect others, maybe they never take responsibility for their actions. But instead of accepting reality, you say to yourself, they didn't mean it, they will change. Or maybe I'm overthinking. The truth is simple. Red flags rarely disappear with time. In most cases, they become stronger, and what you ignore at the beginning often becomes the reason for pain later. Another big mistake is expecting people to change. Many people don't fall in love with the real person, they fall in love with their potential. They believe that love will fix everything, but people only change when they decide to change. Not when someone asks them to, not when someone waits for them, and not just because they are in a relationship. If someone shows you who they are today, that is your most honest answer, not who they might become in the future. A lot of people lose their identity inside relationships. They stop doing the things they love, they slowly disconnect from friends, and they forget their personal goals. Their entire life starts revolving around one person. At first, it feels like love, but later it becomes emotional dependency. A healthy relationship should add to your life, not replace it. Many relationship problems are not caused by big events, but by small issues that were never communicated properly. People assume, they stay silent, and they expect the other person to understand without speaking. But no one can read minds. When communication is weak, small misunderstandings grow into bigger problems, and over time, emotional distance replaces connection. One of the most dangerous mistakes is accepting disrespect just to keep someone in your life. People tolerate things they should never tolerate because they are afraid of losing the relationship. But the truth is simple. If you accept disrespect once, it becomes easier for it to happen again. Respect is not optional. It is the foundation of every healthy relationship. Social media also creates a distorted version of reality. You see happy moments, perfect pictures, and ideal stories, but you don't see arguments, struggles, or emotional pain. Comparing your real relationship to someone else's highlight reel is unfair, and it slowly destroys satisfaction and gratitude. Another painful mistake is staying in a relationship only because of the time you already invested. People think, I cannot leave now because I have already spent so much time. But time already spent is gone. You cannot get it back. Staying in the wrong situation just because of the past only increases future loss. Sometimes the strongest decision is to start over. At the end of the day, all of these mistakes lead to the same result: emotional damage, loss of confidence, and unhealthy relationships. But awareness changes everything. When you understand these patterns, you start seeing relationships more clearly, and you stop repeating the same mistakes. Healthy relationships are built on awareness, communication, and self-respect. If you recognize any of these mistakes in your own life, don't ignore them, because understanding the problem is always the first step to change. Thank you for listening, and if you followed this easily, your English is probably stronger than you think. If it felt challenging, that's also a good sign. It means you're improving. Keep practicing, keep listening, and keep pushing your English forward. See you in the next podcast.